This is October 15th, it's a little after 7 o'clock, and so we are starting the meeting. Thank you all for coming tonight. I'm very excited to get to our speakers, so let's just get through a few of the things that we're going to get through. We have a bunch of folks on our Zoom call tonight as well, so welcome those of you guys who excuse me, are at home. You missed a fantastic meal. We do not have the restaurant. They had already left, or they didn't. It was fantastic. It was Luna Grill. Jane, come on up here. So Jane is our restaurant maven. She brings these great restaurants. Can we hear it for Jane? Tell us a little bit about Luna Grill.
Oh my God. Well, Luna Grill, what I do know
Keep it
about
short, though. They started as a family that were looking for healthier foods to serve their children, and they didn't want to come home and cook for a long time, and they would go out and try to find fast, healthy food, and they couldn't find it, so they created their own, basically. And they started this, I think, in like 2006, and started their first restaurant, and basically it was a way to make healthy meals easily for other working families and with Mediterranean flavors. And how long have they been in Sherman? They just opened, right?
No, I think they opened like 2012.
Oh, wow, okay. And so they are in, has anyone here been to their place over in, okay, good.
They're located right near in the Gelson's mini mall area, near the Health Nut, right next to the Health Nut.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Thank you, that was great food. You guys enjoy it?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Jane.
And next month we have Poquito Moss.
Excellent, thank you. All right, and thank you, Jane, for putting that together. Board of Directors, you guys want to come on up here and say hello and introduce yourselves? And then after that, we have our different, there's some different folks and some field deputies. Come on, you guys, don't be shy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Maria Calvin. I chair the Legislative Committee.
Hi, I'm Bob Anderson. I'm chair of the Transportation Committee and Metro hates me. I consider it a bad drama. I'm Joe Weisler. I'm the secretary of the group, and I want to warn you to keep your eyes up in the sky and start watching for those air taxis, because they're going to be coming within a year probably, so keep an eye out for them.
He's on our airport committee, by the way.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Lynch. I'm your beautification chair, and I want to invite you all to come out this Sunday from 10 to 6 to the street fair and come by our booth and say hi. We're going to have some fun things going on there.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. I'm Larry Slade. I chair the Homelessness Committee, and the problem is not getting better. We're trying to come up with our council office, trying to come up with permanent solutions that don't seem to be happening, and we should be focusing our attention on temporary solutions so we can fix the problem today as best we can.
Good evening, everyone. Tom Glenn, Planning and Land Use Committee and Council District. Our Council District hates me. So.
That's good, Tom.
Hi, I'm John Eisen, Treasurer of the Association.
All right. Isn't it a sad statement where our accountants, that came from a few that, anyway, I guess we're doing our job as an association fighting for our rights, right? Right? Okay, so Tammy's here representing the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, the Sherman Centino Chamber of Commerce is having our 33rd annual street fair Sunday. In Sherman Oaks Ventura Boulevard from Van Nuys to Castor. We'll see you there.
Terrific, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm going to be very short and sweet. Victor Reyes with Assemblymember Nick Schultz's office representing the 44th. Two major events that are coming up. We have Caltrans. So we have plenty of issues in the district. We're trying to deal with them. We want you to connect with the director, Gloria Roberts. That's going to be on November 12th. So after this, if you want to just raise your hand, I'm more than happy to pass out a flyer to you. make sure you have that information, but it's gonna be about an hour. Oakwood Secondary School over in North Hollywood, Ventura, and then an open house on the 20th. So we're gonna have more information out there, but just keep an eye out for those notifications. You will be getting the alerts as you are part of our district. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, Katie Abrams with Supervisor in the Quarterback's office. A couple updates. Yesterday, the LA County Board of Supervisors approved a proclamation of a local emergency for federal immigration actions. If anyone has any comments on that, I encourage you to reach out to me or our office, and I can leave some extra cards here as well. And then I wanted to make sure that you all knew that the LA County Small Business Resiliency Fund is open for applications. That opened on September 29th, and the deadline is October 31st. This grant program provides up to $5,000 in direct relief to small businesses across the county that experienced economic hardship following the federal immigration raids, and there is a lot of online information. If anyone has questions or wants more information on that, please reach out. And then the last thing is we are going to be having an emergency preparedness event at the Skirball in November. I will send over a flyer and all of those details when we have it, but I would definitely encourage you all to come. There will be a lot of great information that is really relevant to all of you. So there'll be some home hardening and earthquakes, all the good emergency preparedness stuff. So if anyone has questions, let me know.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Sally is here from Buckley School.
Hi everyone, I'm Sally. I'm from your friendly neighborhood Buckley School, right up Stansburg. You see the flyers on your tables. You only need to worry about the street being closed if you're a resident, but otherwise, come on over. It's a really fun, it's technically a block party. The street gets closed off. Everyone comes trick-or-treating on Stansbury. Everybody spends thousands of dollars. If you live on Stansbury, you just hand out the candy. At the top of the street is the Buckley School. We'll be handing out candy. Our students love to dress up and stand out there and pass out candy to everyone who comes from all over the city. I'm the Director of Strategic Marketing and Communications at Buckley, and the neighbor liaison. So this year, one update, you may be aware, in the wake of last year's wildfires, the city has stipulated that all independent schools in LA are eligible for a waiver to enroll up to 20% more students than their CUP allows. Our CUP stipulates that we are capped at 830 students, and this year we've enrolled 832. So we are pleased to welcome 2 new students, 2 extra students to our school who were impacted by the wildfires. There's no other major news on campus. We don't have construction anymore since we've finished renovating our beautiful lower school buildings. We are required to have a bus enrollment of 26% to reduce traffic in the neighborhood. We're currently at 44% enrolled in taking the bus, and this year's fall musical is Grease. Please, if you want tickets, it's the first week in November. Just reach out to me at communications@buckley.org, and I will get you tickets. It's going to be a great show. And also, students are going to be performing a few numbers from the musical at the street fair on Sunday. So come on over at 10:30. We're going to be taking the stage.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Howard, you want to come on? So Howard is the president of the Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council. Howard's been a community, very active in the community for years and years, and he has a couple announcements.
Very true. Anyway, and I had the pleasure of knowing Matt for many, many years too, as a fellow Greensboro. Anyway, as Matt said, I'm the president of Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council. Pleasure to be here with all of you this evening. I'd just like to say that my vision is to, okay, thank you. My vision is to see true cooperation and collaboration between SOHA and SONC. And by that I mean, we run parallel tracks. We have identical committee structure. We have a governmental affairs committee. You have legislative. We have green and sustainability. You have beautification. We can get these things together. And I'm going to encourage that all of the committee chairs at SONC be in contact with your committee chairs, and with Matt's help, I'll have that information, how to contact them. And I want to see us collaborate, be involved in activities, be involved in events, legislate, advocate together, particularly because we have a common interest, and that is Sherman Oaks. And that is very important. So thank you. Oh, two more things. We hold our board meetings here the second Monday of every month, except for this month because of the holiday. We're going to be meeting this coming Monday. We have Phil Mallet coming in as a speaker. In November, we'll have Assemblyman Schultz. And in December, we'll have City Attorney Heidi Felsen Soto. So please, everybody come. We meet 6:30 here. And visit ShermanOaksNC.org for the calendar and further information. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. Okay, our last speaker before we get into our future speaker, Dennis Zine. Our last speaker, Jody, come on up. Jody Francisco, as you guys all know, she does, last few years, she's been in charge of the homeless count in Sherman Oaks and Encino. And she has a quick update, and she's got a couple of special guests.
Thank you, man. Yes, so you guys all know me from the Sherman Oaks homeless count. I also am now the site coordinator for the Sepulveda Basin, and I will be doing it again this year. I brought two people from LASA with me tonight. I just want to say real quick, the Sherman Oaks homeless count will be January 20th. It's a Tuesday night. We'll be starting at 7 o'clock at Church of the Chimes. I'd love you all to sign up. The website's not up yet, but I'll be back next month. If you could, let me just give you the website, and we'd love to have you guys come out. We might be wanting some volunteers to help us with the Sepulveda Basin, but we haven't come up with a date yet. So, and I want to introduce Matthew Mitnick and also Derek Blackshear from LASA, who, as you guys know, I was not a big fan of LASA, and now I am. So.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew Mitnick from Government Affairs and Community Relations at LASA. Really excited to be with you tonight, and I know that I've had a few conversations with some of you before this meeting, and I know that you are frustrated on this issue. I personally am as well. When I first met Jody, I told her I go running on the Sepulveda Basin, and I've been very frustrated with the situation there. But really, why I'm here, not only for the homeless count, which I hope you all can support because people in their communities know the numbers and should be involved in that. But if there are inconsistencies with the count or just with homelessness in general, how the policies are being implemented, what you're seeing on the ground, I really want you to tell me because I'm going to assess that and I want to fix that. And if I don't, I'll be back at the next meeting and you can call me out. So I hope I can work with you all, and I'll give my contact information to Matt so we can begin this dialogue because I think your perspective matters, and it, quite frankly, has not been heard throughout the system, and that's why we're here. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Matt. That was wonderful. Just want to introduce myself real quick. I'm here with Matt. My name is Derek Blackshear. I'm the Associate Director of Government and Community Relations, but I'm really just here with Marshall to eat the delicious food, so thank you guys for having us.
Thank you, guys. Senior Edie's come on up, and then Chris, you're going to come up as well afterwards, yeah? We have, well, he doesn't want to come up, but everybody say hello to Chief Alan, Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton. A great friend of Sherman Oaks, a great friend of the Valley, a great friend, I think, an amazing LAPD example of what greatness is. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Great to see you. What's going on in Sherman Oaks, guys? You getting all the bad guys out of here?
Of course. That's our job.
What's going on?
I'm Officer Ladonna. I'm a senior lead officer for the southern portion of Sherman Oaks. I have everything south of Ventura towards Mulholland, between Coldwater Canyon and Sepulveda. Last month we had 9 burglaries. 5 of them were commercial and 4 of them were residential. And all 4 residential burglaries were all open doors, open windows, open sliding doors. So people are not locking up their house. Please set your alarm and lock up your house. We had 2 commercial burglaries on Ventura Boulevard. There was a big tunnel through the roof, and at the same day. So we have I'm not sure if that suspect is in custody, but we do have a person out there tunneling through the businesses. So we had 2 businesses that were tunneled through and another business that were tunneled through the sidewalk. That's all I have right now.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Officer Mariana Robo, and I cover the northern part of Sherman Oaks. Ventura North from the 405 freeway all the way down to Coldwater, Colton, Magnolia, and Chandler area. So I have a very long stretch. I have very similar crime complaints such as slow 89, but one thing that I am seeing in my area is vacant homes or homes that are under construction. The copper is being stolen. So I know a lot of us do renovations in our homes, and we leave it and hope to come back and everything's there. Please, if you are renovating your home, please tell your neighbors that you're going to be gone. Please tell me, as your senior lead officer, I'm able to submit an extra patrol request. Give me the dates, the time frame, and I myself or my partners can conduct extra patrol while your project is being renovated. And as we all know, copper is very expensive. Please reach out to us, and we will gladly do extra patrol for you. So if you have neighbors, please let them know, contact me, and I'll submit an extra patrol request for that area, and we'll keep everyone safe.
Thank you. Let's hear it for our senior leads. Thank you, guys. So I've known Dennis for a long, long time, but I figured that it'd be probably a better introduction to have this guy, who shares his last name, Dennis's son Chris, who's in charge of Van Nuys Division, introduce his dad, and maybe tell a few embarrassing stories about him.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Captain Christopher Zine, I'm the Commanding Officer of Van Nuys. Since this is recorded, I will not tell any embarrassing stories about my dad. Off record, I will. So I have the privilege of being the Commanding Officer of Van Nuys. I have 24 years with the LAPD. My dad is somebody that's my hero, my role model. I don't think many people could actually say that and mean it. As a little kid, I used to see my dad come home from work and just total admiration for him. Somebody that dedicated 33 years to the LAPD. He's still a reserve officer, so he's celebrated his 58th year with the LAPD, which is absolutely amazing. He also is a city council member for 12 years in Council District 3, so the West Sacramento Valley. He was also on the Charter Commission before that, so when the city redid the charter in early 2000, he was one of the commissioners for that. Pretty unique about my dad, too, besides for being an amazing police officer and sergeant, he was also a union director for the LAPPL police union. So you talk about somebody that's got good knowledge and well-rounded, you're going to be hard-pressed to find anybody better than him. And he's also an amazing grandfather to my 2 kids, and I love him with all my heart. So without any further ado, Dennis P. Zine.
Yes. Good evening. Matt, do you have a, is this a Q&A or what?
So sit down and relax.
All right.
I love the way he takes charge. I love it. This is probably the first time and the only time I'm actually going to be able to have a little control on this, man.
There you go.
So why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself, about just, your son did, but tell us a little bit about where this passion comes from. You've been an amazing asset to the city of Los Angeles and this region, not just the city. But tell us, who is this Dennis Zine guy?
Well, it all started August 1st, 1947. That's when my dad, my mom, were the two that happy day when I was born, August 1st, 1947. My mom, a homemaker, my dad owned a little market, 2 little mom and pop markets. And when the big chains came in, he was pushed out of business and became a gardener. So I grew up in a family that had a lot of love, not a lot of money, and I think we lived on $500 a month. Day-old bread. Mom would send me to Thrifty Mart at Santa Monica and Edinburgh. I'd be there with all the seniors. When the doors open, you rushed in, got the day old bread. We never starved. We never went without. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, me and my brother, my mom and dad. So I grew up in a humble beginning. Edinburgh, near Fairfax and Melrose. Lebanese and Catholic, born in a Jewish community. All of my friends Jewish. I'm the boy. So I went to Laurel Avenue School, St. Ambrose School, went on to Notre Dame, and then went on to college, and at 21, I was drafted into the United States Army. And my girlfriend at the time said, if you go to college, you can avoid the draft while you're in school. So I joined the college group, and I got deferred. And that's when Vietnam was popping and people were getting killed. And I thought, well, your number's up, your number's up. So while going to Notre Dame, and after that, I went to college, the student deferment, I turned 21. And at 21, I put an application to the LAPD and I got it accepted. 11 days after my birthday, I was in the police academy. So that was 8/11/68. And all of a sudden, many of my fellow officers are getting drafted, going to Vietnam. And I'm saying, well, my number will be up. People were getting killed. Those of you who remember the headlines, the Vietnam War, bloodshed, bloodshed, bloodshed. Through the grace of God, I didn't get drafted. I stayed with the police department during that entire time and went on to do 33 years with the LAPD, served everything in the city, all kinds of assignments. You'd never recognize me with my big afro working undercover. And it was a fun time, it was a good time, but my heart went out for those that were in the military and getting killed. So, after my experience with law enforcement, during that time I worked all kinds of assignments, undercover. We used to have an organization called Public Disorder Intelligence Division. We would know what's going to happen before things took place. That was disbanded. During that time, there were a lot of changes in the police department. So a lot of what we used to do, didn't do anymore. Then I went on to the Police Protective League as a league director. And that became a situation when I expressed my frustration after the riot. And they were condemning the police department, the police officers. And I went ballistic on the media, ballistic. And following that, I got elected to the board of directors of the police union. From there, I went on to the charter commission. I was the vice chair of the charter commission. And then from there, I went to City Hall, and I was 12 years as a city councilman. So I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. My life's in Los Angeles. Christopher, one son who's obviously accomplished with a wife and 2 wonderful children. His brother's an airline captain for Alaska Airlines. So I'm really blessed. And what frustrates me most of all is the city of my birth, the city of my environment for so many years, seeing what's happened to it. When I drive down the street and I see the deterioration, I drive by and I see homeless, and my heart goes out for homeless. But it's not your fault that they're homeless. It's not your fault you're paying taxes. It's not your fault you keep calling and telling your elected officials to do something, and they're doing nothing. And they're spending billions and billions of dollars. And people are making themselves rich, and you're living in the environment. And no one's doing anything about it. These police officers are restricted from doing what they want to do. There are so many restrictions on the officers because of the political environment. If I say what I say, I go on channel 11, I go on KBC radio, there's nothing they can do to me. There's nothing they can do because I'm speaking the truth. The politicians that some of you have elected, there's a term that I will never forget. Mashugana. You're electing Mashugana to city council. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse because they want to expand the city council. 15's not enough, they want more. And it's going to come before you. The Charter Commission, my Charter Commission when I was there, we brought forth changes. But the problem is, the Charter Commission can make recommendations. It's the elected officials that implement. You've got some council members that don't like the police, don't want the police, don't want them in their communities, don't want them to carry guns, because they're all racist and bigots, and sexist. That's what they make them sound out. They have time on this job. This officer has over 20 years of service, risking his life for you and your families and your friends and neighbors and the businesses. I still serve as a reserve officer. And what that means, I go out and I enforce the law. They say, wow, you're so old. I am 78 years old. I should be in a old folks home right now. But I still ride a Harley Davidson, and I still carry a gun, and I still respect the law and I respect people. I don't care if you're black or white or Hispanic, I don't care. The law is the law, we all follow it, we respect and live together in a happy environment. But the problem is, these officers, and Chief Hamilton, who I have great respect for, there's people who tell them what to do and how to do it. They can't stop cars just because the license is expired, or the brake light's not working. They are told certain stops you don't make because they're discriminatory. I was a motorcycle officer. I remember stopping people for all kinds of violations, driving to make the road safe, to keep them in line. You find out when you drive around how many people are getting stopped for traffic ticket. How often do you see someone getting stopped by a black and white or a motorcycle officer? How often do you see that happen? When's the last time any of you got a traffic ticket? Why isn't that done? Why aren't they proactive? Why aren't they regressive? Why are they regressive instead of proactive? You've got council members that say, don't go to MacArthur Park. MacArthur Park is a haven for drugs and violence. Norm Langer owns Restaurant Langer's restaurant. He was going to close because there was so much crime and violence. They put that off for a while. You've got city council members that don't deserve the right to represent you. And until you folks change it, it's not going to get any better. I was asked to come here tonight, I have a lot of information I want to cover, but it didn't emotional when I find out you folks are paying taxes, you folks live in fear, you folks get your cars broken into, your homes broken into, you can't walk at night, you're afraid to live in fear, you're constant fear, what am I going to do? And you're a senior citizen. The city of Los Angeles is now issuing concealed weapon permits. They've never done it until now. This is not an immigration issue, this is not a black and white issue, this is about safety. Where they now realize they don't have the resources to keep you and your family safe all the time. The Olympics are coming to town, folks. I worked the '84 Olympics. We were working 12-hour shifts. I was a motorcycle sergeant in charge of a group of athletes. And who do they put me with? Who am I going to protect most of all? The Israeli athletes. And we did protect them. And they didn't get harmed. And we had to protect UCLA, which was the village where they housed the people. That's where the athletes would live, at UCLA on the campus. I worked that, along with Chief Hamilton when he was not the chief, and Chris wasn't on the job, the '84 Olympics. Great memories. But what we have is a city of Los Angeles that is dysfunctional. It's dysfunctional because people you're put into office don't give a damn about you, don't care about the businesses. This man owns a restaurant. Now, if you own a restaurant, would you want someone sitting up in front of your restaurant on the sidewalk selling goods, selling food, no health permit, no restroom, no wash your hands, and taking business away from a businessman? Why does the city permit that? The homeless population, they spent not $1 billion, not $2 billion, not $3 billion, multiple billions of dollars. Has it done any good? Let me take out the homeless count. I've been involved in every single homeless count. Every single one I've been involved in. Everyone's a joke. You go out at night, in a car, in a community, and you don't talk to anyone. You look at a home, you look at a trailer, you look at a tent, and guess how many people in there? You don't approach the people. If any of you have been involved in the homeless count, am I right? Am I saying it's right? I'm not right. Okay, why am I right? What's wrong?
We don't approach them, but we don't guess how many people might be in a tent. We just mark it's a tent or a makeshift shelter
That's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying. You are intent, you don't know how many people are in there. So how do you come up with a homeless count that says how many are down, how many are up?
They have a formula that the US.
You know their formula, you know what their formula is? Their formula is how much money they're getting to print the report. I've been on every single count and looked at the numbers. And if they're feeding you information that the numbers are down, that's incorrect, because I've seen firsthand. I have all the certificates. When you end that night, they give you a certificate. Thank you, here's your reward for going out and doing it. I do it specifically so I can show you what's happening. I'm not doing something that I read in a book. I've seen it firsthand. So I have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. The bottom line is real simple. You folks deserve better than what you're getting. You have a fire chief who gets demoted. You have a fire department that has apparatus that's not being repaired because they don't have mechanics. You have police cars that are falling apart. You have a police department right now, the date that I have on this, the most recent report, the 4th of this month. LAPD, from the chief of police to the recruiting academy for the city of Los Angeles, 8,667. 8,667. Now this city goes from San Pedro to the northern city limits, from the Pacific Coast to East Los Angeles. 8667. Officers who are working, officers who are on vacation, officers who are working detectives, officers who are flying in the helicopter, command staff, sergeants, lieutenants. 8667 for this entire territory. This division, Van Nuys, has, I think, 5 basic cars, am I correct? 5 basic cars for all of Van Nuys division. When I was a council member, I represented the 3rd district. At that time, it was Mulholland to Roscoe, Valley Circle to Balboa. That's a huge area. You have to drive in that in a police car. Not every car can fly. We haven't gotten to that stage. So when they get there, and then if they get there, because 911, oftentimes, it rings, no one answers, because they don't have enough dispatchers. We're in a crisis stage in the city, but people are afraid to say it. And the bottom line is, you're the folks, and I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. I vote for a person. I can care less about the parties. So what I do is knock heads, fight back and forth. Give me money for this and with that. I'm going to vote for a person, no matter the political affiliation, if they're going to represent me and save my community and save the businesses. And many people get in office because they don't care, except who's going to feed them the information to do what they want to do. Is LA City Council corrupt? Are they corrupt?
100%.
How many LA City Council members have been convicted of felonies?
4.
How many?
4.
No, I think you're talking a little more than 4. How about a city deputy mayor of public safety? What happened with him? He formed in a bomb threat. The deputy mayor of public safety of the city of Los Angeles forms in a bomb threat. Got convicted. Current Price is currently facing charges. Margaret D. Thomas is waiting to see what's going to happen with him. Jose Rizar is doing time in federal prison. Mitchell Ingram did time in federal prison. These are elected officials that you folks put in office. Not 1 or 2, but a whole bushel full. And then the Charter Commission wants to make more council members. They want to expand the number of council members. Each one makes over $200,000. Each one has a city hall office and a district office and a staff and a take-home car. How many of city councilors went to Paris for the Olympics? How many of them went to Paris for the Olympics, and who paid for that? Not them. Am I critical? Yes. Because I see how you folks are being buffaloed. You have a city council member here who doesn't like me. I met with her, she doesn't like me. But most of you don't like her either. But what we need is a people who are concerned about doing what's right for you, for the homeowner, for the student, for the taxpayer. Your water and power rates are going up, your trash collection fees are going up, they're all going up. Do you have the money to pay for it? Are you getting more money at your occupation? You getting more on your Social Security? There are a lot of seniors here. You're going to be paying more. Your property tax is going to go up.
So Dennis, I have a question for you. So you're saying we're electing the wrong folks. So our legislators in California passed but is legally ballot harvesting. So the DSA, Abundant Housing, all these groups go out, recruit these folks to go out to apartment buildings, sign up folks who are not residents, legal residents of the city of Los Angeles. They live in Los Angeles, but they're not here legally. And they're allowed to vote on local elections, correct?
Right.
They're not allowed to vote for the President of the United States or federal elections, but they're legally allowed to vote for local issues.
Right.
Including items like ballot measures, city council. So these folks here vote because they go out and they read, they come to meetings like this, and they listen to the candidates speak. But there's a bunch of people that go out, knock on doors of apartments and knock on doors and get everybody who is over the age, the legal age, and they get them to register to vote so that they get mailed a ballot. The same people go out when they know that the mail goes out, and they help them go through the ballot, and they get these ballots in to office. So the ballot harvesting is legal in California, but again, you're focusing some of your frustration and anger at these folks electing the wrong folks to office, but these folks aren't the ones that are electing the wrong people into office. It's the people. There's a system. You talk about corruption, like some of these folks that have served time for taking money.
Right.
But I think it's a different kind of corruption that's happening right now. We have 4 members of City Council right now that are pledged DSA members, and they're trying to run an election against Tracy Park, get her out. That would be 5. And once you have 5 City Council members, you can pretty much do anything you want in the city of Los Angeles. And isn't our city controller, he's a card-holding DSA member as well. And the DSA is the Democratic Socialist Party. It's not the Democratic Party. It's not the Democrats. It's like the MAGAs are not Republicans. They're a completely different branch. They're the far right. I think most of these folks in this room are middle of the road.
I agree.
I think you're middle of the road too. So what do we do about that? How do you address this crazy thing that's happened in California called ballot harvesting? You know, you can't stand on the Ventura Boulevard Sepulveda on the tallest building and scream out, "You're mad as hell, you're not going to take it anymore." But as much as we want to do that, no one's listening anymore. So what's the answer to this legal but unethical ballot harvesting?
I don't think it's going to change. The only thing is, people who are educated, people who are informed, who do some research and find out who I'm going to trust to vote, that's going to take care of me, my family, my business, my community, to make the city what it used to be. It used to be a great city. They had good elected officials. They had very little corruption. But what happens is now we have corruption, and every single one's been convicted. You're innocent until proven guilty. You're electing people on whatever measure, it's not working. And if you see all your rates going up for everything, from your trash to your water to your power to this, it's like, at what point do we say we're going to leave? If you were to check to see how many people retire from city government and move out of state, move to Arizona, move to Idaho, move to Texas, hundreds. Cost of living is less, and the quality of life is better. Why is it that I can't leave my house without carrying a gun when I take a walk at night?
So what's your answer to everybody in this room is frustrated because they hear it from us, they see the streets, they're walking down. We all understand our everything's going up except for our paychecks.
Yeah.
So give us some solutions, Dennis. You've been on the inside.
Here's a solution. Do some research. Line up with a group that you believe is going to give you the truth. Line up with elected officials. I'm not saying politics is bad, but there are bad people getting into politics. And you want people who are going to represent you and be there for you and your family. Tracy Park is a wonderful lady. She turned the West Side upside down. She got rid of homeless. She's been very aggressive, and I know her personally. I helped her in her campaign. You need to get people like that who are going to be there for you. People like that who are gonna commit themselves 7 days a week to make a difference. There are some like that. The problem is the growing trend goes the other way. The one who represents MacArthur Park despises the police. They don't want the police at all. And the police say, we need to fix this up. People are shooting up, they're dying, they're this. We don't want the police here because the police are evil. They're racist, they're bad. They're not racist. They want to help. LAPD, if you look at the reflection of LAPD, all the groups that join LAPD, they join because they want to save people. They want to help people. They're not racist. They're doing what is good. How many years do you have on job, officer?
32.
What nationality are you?
Mexican.
Huh?
Mexican.
Mexican. Okay, 32 years. At 33 years, you can retire with 90%. 90% you can live, and if you live a long time, it's good. Sometimes you don't live so long. But 33, that's when you're maxed out. And you're there, a year away.
So by the way, folks, next month, Tracy Park will be here, so make sure you mark your calendars. So I want to talk about something that has happened recently. You served on the
Charter
Reform Commission when it was, I think,
the original
Charter Reform Commission, which I was asked by Dick Reardon and Richard Close to run for the charter. You had to run for the office. Remember that?
Yeah.
It wasn't an appointment. You had to run for the office, and it was a no-pay 2-year job.
It was an election for 2 years.
It was an election, and so fortunately, I had a lot to say, and so I was asked to run, and Richard Reardon had said he would take care of the campaigning part of it as far as raising money. But so I went out and I was meeting with people, talking to people about charter reform and things as far as they needed to change in the city, like Dennis with his kind of passion. And the municipal labor unions didn't like what I had to say, and so they ran this guy, Erwin Cherminsky, against me.
Erwin Cherminsky.
Yeah, so he, and I say that unfortunately because he won and I didn't. And he was terrific. He's a constitutional law professor. He did a great job on the Charter Reform Commission, or a good job. But so part of the charter reform, that was an outcry, partly because the city the San Fernando Valley wanted to secede. And so that was kind of a Hail Mary for the city as far as for the San Fernando Valley.
Throw your bone.
Let's rewrite the charter of the city of Los Angeles. So I stayed active with that. Dennis was actually on that. So now the city they decided that it's time to rewrite the charter again. But again, it's for a different reason. And one of the folks that was put into the hat, and I thought it was a great idea, was Dennis was going to be, you were actually appointed, right? You were appointed, but you had to be confirmed, is that correct?
Right.
So what a great, passionate, great experience. Are you on the Charter Reform Commission? But what happened? You got canned before you started, huh?
Well, no. Before they decided to terminate me, I quit. So here's what happened. Bob Blumenfield, the councilman from the district that I live, the adjoining district, because I know the 12, but because the boundaries changed. Anyway, Bob Blumenfield calls me. He says, I want you to be on the Charter Commission. We have an opening, we can't fill it, nobody wants it. Some guys already resigned. And you got experience as a council member, you were the vice chair of the Charter Commission, the original, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. He said, well, you don't have to go for council approval because I'm the pro tem, I appoint you, you're ready. I said, great. If I don't have to go before the council, because I know it's not going to be a pretty picture. I said, no. So I go down there, all of a sudden, wait a second, you got to get approved by all these council members. I said, really? The people I've been bad-mouthing and telling the public these are the idiots that you put in office? So, lo and behold, I met with one, which was a interesting meeting. I met with number two, who was the council president. He said, I don't really think this is for you. After that, I said, you know what? I'm going to withdraw my name. Because it wasn't worth going through a bloodbath in city council with these folks who don't like me as a police officer, me as a loudmouth, me as a former union guy. So I resigned, and I withdrew my name. They still haven't filled it. Now this is a 1-year term, they're running out of time, and they haven't done anything. And what they want to do is, this is a way to, there's a neighborhood council representative here, gentlemen. They're being screwed by the city. Because they give them a carrot, we're gonna do this, and they pull it away. What the original idea was neighborhood council, when you have something in your community you want done, the city doesn't need to get involved. You can do it, you wanna have a block party? You have a block party. You don't have to go to the city and get permits for all this. But the city wants a permit for everything. And they charge you for all those permits. The design of neighborhood council was to expedite and let you do it in the community. But what happened is, the city council wants to meddle in everything. And cost you more aggravation and grief. And then they'll give you 25,000 one year, and then the next year 20,000, and the next year you have no money. The game they play. So what the issue right now is with the city council and the neighborhood council that has running out of time, they still don't have a quorum. They have a quorum because they don't have enough members, I should say. They don't have enough people. One's already quit. I didn't take the position. But the bottom line is, you folks deserve better. And you're not getting it, you're paying taxes. So neighborhood council is kind of like the branch, but they take everything away. They don't give them any power to do anything. Mother may have for everything they want from the city. It shouldn't be that way. Empower them to let them do what they can do in their community for you who are paying the taxes. If they make it so cumbersome, nothing happens. So this whole joke that they have going on right now is just another way to pacify people into, oh, we're going to give you neighborhood. They're going to give you nothing. And the people who are in office, who hate the police, who want to disband the police, who want to disarm the police, this is where you're going, folks. And why is it that the LA City now issues CCWs my entire life? You could not get a CCW if you lived in LA. You'd have to go to the sheriff's department if you knew somebody. They're issuing like candy now. Like candy. Why? Because they're afraid that you folks aren't getting the protection you deserve. No disrespect, but when the police department is shrinking in numbers, because their budget keeps getting cut, remember the budget was going crazy, the budget's getting cut, they don't have the resources to protect you, and that's the fault of the city council and the mayor of the city of Los Angeles.
The door was actually open to CCWs because.
What's that?
The door was actually open for because the Supreme Court ruling said that a local municipality cannot violate the.
But then today they took, or a couple of days ago, they took away the Glock. You can't buy a Glock anymore. Glock is no restricted for CCW.
No more Glock. I haven't changed mine.
So not even put restrictions on. But anyway, I didn't come here to.
Okay, hold on. So
I didn't want to debate. You don't want to debate them.
You're not debating. You're having most pleasant conversation we've had in.
We've never had a good conversation.
Never mind.
But I have to food at your restaurant.
So
you still have that old guy who comes in and plays the piano?
No. He hasn't been in a while. Ask your son. He's
Chris, does that guy still show up?
So
what was his name?
I have no idea.
Yeah, you know, was it?
I know you're he's trying to bait me. So Larry Slade, I'm not going to take his carrot. Larry Slade wants to know, there's one candidate who just came out a couple days ago, Austin Buettner. He's the first candidate that's come out to run against Karen Bass in the election next year. It's 8 months away, which is probably the first time in the history of City of Los Angeles, 8 months away from a mayoral election. And as of 2 days ago, there was nobody running against her. So she was running. Is that a mandate, or is there something else going on? Is she doing such a great job that no one did?
Well, you know, she has a council to deal with, so I want to say that a lot of the issues fall in the council's hands, but I know Austin Buettner. I met with him when he wanted to take the school board. He did that, and he got frustrated or whatever. He was superintendent of Unified for a while, a couple of years. He wants to run for mayor. I would be very, very concerned about the agenda that he has. What is the agenda for you, the taxpayers, you, the senior citizens, you, the people who are trying to make life happy in Los Angeles? I don't know what he's going to do with homeless. Everybody has a solution for homeless, but nothing's getting done. What I find with Austin Buettner, he's a man who's got a challenge. He's an articulate man, a wealthy man. But I think Rick Caruso may be edging towards that. Now, a lot of people like Rick Caruso. I like Rick Caruso personally. Rick Caruso was a police commissioner. Rick Caruso knows how to get things done. When you find out the names as they percolate, as we get closer to the election, there'll be more names percolating. Austin Buettner's a good guy. I'm not going to say he's bad. But what is his agenda for you, the taxpayers, that are tired of your rates going up and your quality of life going down? What is he gonna do for you? What's he gonna make Los Angeles better? I'm gonna clean up the homeless. What are you gonna do to clean up the homeless? Build more hotels that you're paying for? What are you gonna do? More money that's going to where? If you look at the $24 billion they spent on homeless, $24 billion? What's happening with it? I just can't understand. The cops can't do their job. They're restricted from being police officers. Restricted, because the policies come down, you can't do this and you can't do that. Don't stop people because they got tinted windows. What do you mean? It's against the law. Yeah, but you might be picking on them. Picking on them, it's against the law. I want to write a ticket. No, don't do it. But everything you do, remember, it's on body cam. When they make that stop, it's on body cam. They're not going to go out there and do stupid things and get in trouble and get disciplined and get days off and get terminated. But they set the stupid rules. You're picking on people. No, we're enforcing the freaking law. The law says you can't have tinted windows. The law says your license has to be, your registration has to be current. We don't let them do that. Austin Buettner, Rick Caruso, Karen, I don't know. The bottom line is, you folks are getting screwed, and you're getting screwed by the people you put in the public office. And that's the bottom line.
So,
no, I say that
so hold on.
in a friendly manner.
So, again, I've known Dennis for a long time. When I was on the South Valley Area Planning Commission, when Dennis wanted something in your district, when you were a council member, he got it done. He got it done come hell or high water. So let me ask you something, Dennis.
Let me say this one more
So
time.
hold on.
Wait, it's my turn now. In my district, the LAPD had a policy. When something goes down that's newsworthy, I want to be called. I don't care if it's 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning. And they would do that. And they know about it. So what's going on? We need this, we need that. What do you need? Let's get expedited, get it done. You folks are paying dearly for services and you're not getting it.
So, Dennis.
But I gave when I was there.
Where I was going with my question was this.
Thought you'd forget it by now.
You have passion.
I got passion.
You're still very young.
I'm 78 years old.
Exactly. I mean, compared
He's 22 from 100.
Compared to Jules, you're very young.
Jules. Jules, how old are you?
So,
91? All right, buddy.
So, Dennis.
Yes.
You've got passion, you've got frustration, you have really nothing to lose. Why don't you run for mayor?
Yeah. Hey, run for mayor! And then we introduce Chief Christopher Zine, Chief of Police. And Chief Hamilton was the Chief of Police. You know what? I remember there was a guy named Phil Rizzo, Philadelphia. He blew up the whole area because he didn't do what he wanted to do. I don't want to be a Phil Rizzo. What I want to do is make things happy for the taxpayers of the city of Los Angeles. That's my bottom line. Because you need to get benefits for what you're paying for. You're not getting them.
So Dennis.
Wait, let's say this.
No,
hold on. I don't see crime or homeless going down in Los Angeles, despite what City Hall says.
Crime is not.
This is my last article that was published in I write for Valley News Group. I don't.
And also you write for City Watch.
City Watch, yeah, I write for City Watch too. So I like people to know that somebody gives a damn.
Dennis.
I am getting pissed now.
I love it. So Dennis, look, I was half-heartedly, and that means half not heartedly, I asked you a question as far as running for mayor. Not that you would get elected.
But I did spread the word.
But you would get a hell of a lot of attention, and you would definitely get put the spotlight on some very, very major issues. And you know what, Dennis, you are mad as hell. Why are you taking it, Dennis?
I am mad as hell. I am mad as hell. But I do have 5 acres, honest to God, I have 5 acres in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. 5 acres, pristine land. I bought maybe, Chris, when did we buy that, son? 2008. 2008. It's sitting up there. We could have a party up there. What am I going to do with that?
So if who here just give a little clap. Who here thinks that Dennis with his trademark should go with his comments around the world? Okay, just think about it, okay?
Yeah.
Just think about it. All right.
By the way, one more thing I want to ask you. How many of you have been victim of a crime? Whether your tires been slashed, your windows were broken, whatever happened. Keep your hands up. How many of you made a police report to the police department on that incident? Okay, good. Because that's how these crime stats are determined when you make the report. Whether they arrest someone or not, if you don't make a report, nothing happens. That's why it's critical to make those reports.
Okay, so this next.
At my block, 5 catalytic converters one night stolen, 5 in one night.
How many did you get from?
I didn't steal them.
All right.
There we go. Got a comedian in the room, only one.
So the next question comes from Bobby Baker, who,
What about all this information I brought to this guy?
hold on, you don't need
You
to.
told me only had 20 minutes.
You calm down.
I am calm.
All right, so Bobby's question, and I'm gonna feather it with something else as well. Any suggestions on how we can get our current city council person to care more about her constituents than she does about her own personal agenda? I didn't feather that, I'm actually gonna do a follow-up question for that.
You're talking about sweet Nithya Rama.
I'm sorry?
Sweet Nithya Rama. You're talking about sweet Nithya Rama?
I'm talking about Councilmember, Robert Cup.
Oh, sweet Nithya Rama.
Okay.
I met with Councilmember Rama at her request. She called me up. I'd like to meet with you. We met at a great Jewish, what's the only Jewish deli on Ventura Boulevard near White Oak? Uncle Bertie's. Uncle Bertie's.
Frommans.
No,
It used to be Frommans.
It used to be, no, Uncle Bertie, good Jewish deli. So we met there, and we had a conversation about politics, the city hall. She's very nice to talk to. She's like the woman with the dagger that she talks, and then she's, oh my God, don't you like me? But I found out that her agenda doesn't fit what I believe is the agenda for a council member that needs to serve a diverse community. And Weaver, who was running against her, I thought was a good candidate. Deputy city attorney, great guy. I worked on his campaign, thought he was good. He didn't win. So now they did polls, man, they came against me and I won. So now they have polls that makes her like stronger. My son has to deal with her because she represents this area and he represents it. And, I'm sure he does a professional job because that's how Chris is. But the fact is, she doesn't like me. If I ran, I would maybe move in this touch and run against her just so I could smash her. So that's what I did. Because she doesn't care about you. But she's the first one that now has a core of people. And it's like anything, the core of people starts to spread. It gets more and more and more. And if you don't live it, it's going to get worse. And then you're going to say, my God, now it's out of control, like a forest fire. It gets out of control. That's where it's happening. So it's not good for the community, not good for you taxpayers. But I can't believe your rates are going up, your power rates, your garbage rates, everything's going up. I just got an 8, I live by myself, okay? I have a 3-bedroom house, no, 4-bedroom. 2 jump rooms and 2 bedrooms.
It's huge.
It's not that big. So I got an $800 water bill. $800, the rates are going up. $800.
So let me ask you this. You're a smart guy. You're frustrated. But if you see something, you call it. So if a council member is accepting money to change their position to a certain position, is that corrupt?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's black and white, correct?
That's correct.
So if the council...
When you're the public safety director by the mayor's office, you call them a bomb. There's a bomb. So if you're the public safety director, who picked that person? The mayor picked that person.
So I'm going to try to keep you focused for a second. So
you stay focused, I'm not.
Okay. So if an elected council member takes money for a certain project, meets with somebody privately and influences them in some way, you say that's corrupt. That's black and white, correct? Yeah. Correct? Okay. So if a council member doesn't meet with the constituents and only meets with DSA, abundant housing, and folks that have to do with homeless issues,
right?
And it only meets with those folks, is that, in your black and white book, would you say that's corrupt?
I wouldn't say it's corrupt. I'd say it's inappropriate, and you're not getting the full perspective and the view of what you need to do to make a decision.
Okay.
It's not corrupt. I want to hear both sides of the story. But I want to hear from the developer. But for example, Senate Bill 79, Governor signed this, paving the way for taller housing developments near transit.
I was going to get to that.
Many of you live in this area, it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone.
I was going to get to that. Okay, so you say that's not corrupt. but is it?
It's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate, is it ethical or unethical?
No, it's not ethical.
It's not ethical? Okay.
But, see, they have an ethics commission, which is thinking. They have an ethics commission, which is a joke. All the ethics commission does is see who's collecting money, and they make an account for that.
Right.
If you look at how much money this city is spending on sugar, you'd go crazy. They're spending money on ethics commission. What's the ethics commission? It verifies. Okay, if you're gonna take money, Mitchell you took money. You're not reporting that money. You're stealing that money because you're not doing it in a legal fashion. It's illegal.
But Dennis, how do you, if you're meeting with, let's just say DSA, because I brought that up. Let's just say,
when I was around, we didn't have DSA.
I understand
It didn't
that.
exist.
But DSA, there's 6,000 folks that are members of DSA, 6,000 in the city of Los Angeles.
Aren't they running New York now?
They are running in New York too. Hold on. If DSA goes ahead and takes a bunch of their people and directs them into a certain council district to knock on doors.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so, and if you're meeting with those folks that control those people, that is not unethical, that is not something that is, it is not cash, but it's in time.
You can justify discussion with people. That's discussing, that's meeting with constituents or residents or taxpayers or whatever you want to say. You can do that. But the bottom line is, just like the New York mayor, stand by if he gets elected. Stand by, and he's the #1 in the spot right now. Because food's gonna be free. It's gonna be free, you know why? Because anyone who has a job is gonna be paying, those who don't have a job are gonna be paying. Man, free, and you want a car, no problem, they're free. Everything's free. Just going to Disneyland for the day, it's free.
So, my next question was going to be about SB 79.
Yeah, 79.
So, Maria Calvin chaired the committee. Maria Calvin works with and formed United Neighbors, which is hundreds and hundreds of neighborhood groups all over the state. And folks that live within a half a mile of a transportation corridor along Van Nuys Boulevard, along Sepulveda, a half a mile radius, by the way, not a square block, at about a half a mile square, but a half a mile radius. So if you're lucky enough to have the circle miss your house, you're lucky. It's crazy. But anyway, how do you think SB 79 taking, and there's nothing in SB 79 that says that next year they might say 1 mile, or that all of a sudden they might say, well, you know what, let's get back at Dennis, let's make a transportation corridor right by his house. What do you think is going to happen with homeownership and working people who just want to have a nice quality of life in the city of Los Angeles?
So Newsom, the governor, signed 79, the controversial legislation. The critics say overrides local zoning rules, allows mid-rise apartments. In other words, your local elected officials have no say. This is the governor appointed this to say this is the law, and they approved it. So this really jeopardizes, you have single-family homes and you're close to that, but look at the ADUs that we popped up. ADUs, additional dwelling, they're popping up all over the place. There's no restrictions on those. So you have a garage that's now residence, we put a new story on. I live in Victory Boulevard near Valley Circle. They've got one house that's now 3 houses. They built 2 additional on the same lot. So what are you doing with the congestion on that? The street I live on used to be a nice, quiet residential street. Now there's ADUs up and down the block, so now the street's jammed with cars. This was a quiet residential area. But how much can you put into that pot? So it's not only the congestion, what about the power, what about the water, what about all the other aspects?
I don't care, what about the sewers?
What about the infrastructure? What about the police protection to protect all these extra?
You know what, it's all part and parcel of the failed leadership that lets this happen. Now you've got a governor who is, in my estimation, I know him, Meshuggah. But because he is Meshuggah, he gets away with this. He may want to run for president of the United States of America. God help us all. But the fact of the matter is, this Senate Bill 79 is going to hurt all of us.
So the state of California leads in 2 things right now. 2 things right now. Unemployment, and population, folks leaving the state. They're leaving the state.
Right.
Okay? My daytime job is real estate. It has been for years and years and years. Most of my recent sales in the last year or two have been folks that can leave, and they are. So, give us a crystal ball, Dennis. What's going to change? What's going to change in the next year or 2 or 3 that's going to make our quality? And again, I understand the higher taxes. I understand the higher utility bills. Everybody here does. But crystal ball, what can change to give us some hope? Give us some. I know you're frustrated. We are all frustrated in this room.
The only thing that's gonna change is what you folks vote for. If you vote and you get your neighbors to vote for change, it will change. But if you don't do that, it'll just get worse. The homeless population, I can remember as a police officer, that we wait for the US Supreme Court to decide on homeless. They finally decided you can't camp on a sidewalk. Did we enforce it? No. The police department just told lay back, lay back, lay back. Chief Hamilton was involved in some of that. If it was up to him, we'd do something. But you know what? Lay back, lay back, lay back. And that's what they do. The police officers follow orders. Like in the military, you follow orders. That's what you do. This homeless problem that's costing us billions upon billions of dollars is not resolving itself. And if they say it's down 2 or 3 or 4 or 5%, it's a joke. You can see by your own eyes how bad it is. Sepulveda Basin, the fires that continue to happen in Sepulveda Basin, they don't start by animals, they start because people are living there. This is a community that never had this problem. But now, all of a sudden, the Olympics are coming, the Pope came, I remember the Pope came to town. All the homeless were gone. I don't know where they hide them, but they had something in San Francisco recently, and boom, all the people go. Maybe they put them on a bus and take them to Vegas or not. I don't know. But the bottom line is, they manipulate. And you folks believe these people are going to be out to help you. And they're not. I'm not saying all politicians are bad. They're not all good. But unfortunately, in Los Angeles, you got a tremendous problem. And with this charter reform, they want more council members. They want to go to a minimum of 25. 25 at $200,000 a year, plus offices. You can't put them in City Hall. Now you got to find a new building. And look at the convention center. We're going to spend how many billions of dollars on the convention center? Give me, you know who's pushing that? Union. Why? Union jobs.
Union jobs. So, Tom Glick wants.
Oh, man. God help me. And you too.
Tom Glick wants to ask you a question. So, as a 3-term council member, you had incredible influence. And you got
what?
Influence. And you got things done.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So, tell us a little bit about, once you left city council, you were there for 12 years, you left city council, what was it like to not be in that position to actually get things done?
Frustrating. Frustrating. I used to get on the freeway and take an hour and a half to get to City Hall without rain. I lived here in Topanga and Ventura Freeway, and that's a long drive to City Hall. That's before we had the Orange Line and all that. But it takes me 2 hours. If I take the Orange Line, it takes me 2 hours. From the time I get on the Orange Line till I get to the Red Line, until I get to City Hall, and then walk across the street. So either way, it's 2 hours. I did what I could. I was there for the community. We revamped areas. I was part of the Westfield project where we brought in a Costco in the West Valley. We did a lot of improvements, but my focus was always there for the people that paid the taxes. They wanted to tear down homes and go to school. And I said, no, we're not going to displace these people for a school. And I fought and we won. But, you know, there's influence. You're going to go out to dinner with some guy and he's going to influence you. So, you know what? Here's, you know, I'll have, you know, a steak or I'll have a whatever, but you know what? There's no influence here. If it's good for the community, I'm going to do it. But I can run things through neighborhood council. Neighborhood council, what do you think? So developers would come, go to the neighborhood council and see what they say. If they're happy with you, I'm happy with you. Because they're going to have to live with it, it's not me. And if they're happy, then I'll be happy. And if they're not happy, then you better modify it. Now, since Westfield, in fact, I had a tour today of the Rams facility. They got a huge, huge operation out there. And they're going to build a whole operation. It's all temporary now. But out in the West Valley, they bought that Westfield project that's now in its third ownership. And it's massive what they're doing. But it was nice going out there and seeing everything's now temporary, and they're doing state of the art. And you walk with the players out, these players are like gold. And they got their own rooms, they got this, they got that, they got their own parking space with all their fancy cars. None of the players were there, they all left their cars and went back to play football, saw the place. But and I saw what happened in Westfield, it developed jobs, opportunities, and it helped. But what I see now is this, the laws changed, and now you're gonna be putting more homes, and the ADUs came about, it's exploded. I'm sure in your areas, you're gonna find this thing, ADUs are exploding in numbers. But the drain on the system that we have, our water and power system, our sanitation system, they don't count that. That's not part of the equation.
Remember a few years ago, remember when one of our biggest problems, and probably remember as a city council member, was people would complain about potholes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I miss those days.
Well, they're still there.
No, I know the potholes are still there, but that's not our biggest problem. But where was I going with that?
I don't know. But let me say this, when I was a councilor, if you're a mayor Morris, you dress appropriate. They come with Levi's now with flip-flops. I mean, it's like, you're representing people who put their heart and soul in you to do right for them. You can't even dress appropriate.
I know where I was going with that.
Huh?
I know where I was going with that. Remember a few years ago we had a drought? Remember?
Yeah.
For years we had a drought, we didn't have any water.
You didn't take a shower every night.
I couldn't water my lawn, remember that? So all these new 6-story apartment buildings on SB 79, where are they? Do they have a special water source that I don't know about?
They're using the same water we're all using.
Oh, they are. Okay, cool.
And it's very precious water, and sometimes we get it, and sometimes. And then we go on a drought, and then you gotta worry, you can water this day and that day, you can't do this, you can't do that, don't abuse it. I can only describe it. If I would do a headline, I'd say Los Angeles City, Michigan.
So, I don't have any other questions from the audience, right? As far as anyone else told us didn't bring it up. Okay, I'm gonna have one last question, and then Dennis has assured me that he'll stick around and answer it,
I didn't tell you that.
He should sit here all night long. He does not have a life, so he's gonna.
Hey, Christopher, take him away.
So the last question is, and I heard a rumor, I don't know exactly when I heard this, but it was recently, that there is a proposal, you started off talking about how low LAPD numbers are right now, as far as the amount of manpower we have there. But I heard recently that there is a proposal either on the mayor's desk or being proposed by the mayor, I don't know which one it is, to reduce the police by the numbers by another 500 for budgets. I've
heard, I can't comment directly, but I have heard that there's talk about reducing the numbers, the authorized strength, even more, because the financial situation. You're not getting quality service because lack of interest by the officers. You're getting lack of service because lack of people to do the job. And that's the problem. It's like, you let things go so long. Look at the cars they're driving. Those cars are ready for the jalopy shop. They don't have new cars. It's a terrible situation, but you neglect. Those cars work 24 hours a day. Now, remember, I still go out there in a car, in uniform, doing law enforcement, and the car, this is a jalopy. They don't get the fleet refurbished. 100,000+ miles on police cars? It's outrageous. Just like the fire department. You saw on TV, all the fire trucks that were sitting down there to get repaired, they didn't have anybody to fix them. That's a problem, Mr. Mayor. That's a real serious problem when you have a fire. When's the fire gonna break out? We saw it rain yesterday. We don't know when it's gonna rain again. You need to have those resources available. Potholes are gonna be all over the place now because of the rain we had yesterday.
He's telling the truth about the jalopy cars. Years ago, I went on a ride-along with Los Angeles Police Department, and the officer that I was with got a call and had put the sirens on and red lights, and decided to jump on the freeway to go to this area, and I was like, "Can you go any faster?" And he's like, "This is as fast as this car goes." And it was, he had lights on, And it was, the car, it wasn't jalopy, it's sad, we're laughing about it, but it's sad.
So LAPD has always had a great reputation, and it had good support from elected officials. I don't see that. When you have council members, and one of them, and I'm gonna say this, and this was publicly stated and written, it was on the paper, this current city council member, her comment was, F the LAPD. Now, when a city council member says that, when a council member says that, what do you think that council member could do to support the LAPD? And those were the exact words that she used, and I met with her. It's like, what are you doing? And you said it intentionally. Just that one word. It's such a negative situation. This is a permanent member of the LA City Council.
So in closing, Dennis.
I'm not done.
That's fine.
You are.
I'm not, I'm here for you, Dennis.
No, you know what? My focus,
in closing,
my focus is to
you said more of a positive light for us here.
The positive light is my son Christopher, hopefully will make commander, hopefully he'll make assistant chief, he'll work with Chief Hamilton, and he'll go up the ranks because he cares about police officers, he cares about you. And it's with heart and soul we're gonna hopefully make LA a safe place. But you folks, before you vote, make sure that that person you're voting for, Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter, the city council is nonpartisan, they're gonna do what's right for you and your neighbors, and not screw you with more taxes, and not screw your neighborhood, and not put more housing that we can't afford to live with, and try and clear the roads, etc., and get rid of the homeless. The number one issue is do something with the homeless and quit making excuses and spending billions and billions of dollars of your tax dollars that you go for something positive. God bless America!
So hold on, before you guys leave, Tom, did you have a question or something you wanted to say?
I did. Our council member sent out an email last month.
Oh, hold on, come up here.
Come up here.
In her latest email or newsletter, she put in all this stuff about what we were talking about tonight, the police, lack of police. But now she comes up with some, and I'm not going to say stupid, but I want to, unarmed pilot program for unarmed. She ties it to George Floyd, which is
Speaking of
unarmed response programs for non-violent crises. Can you just speak to that real quick, because it sounds great and all that, but I don't see her stuff.
Yeah, repeat the question, Dennis.
Nithya Raman, in her latest newsletter, has a whole thing on public safety, on the police force. Sorry, Judy.
On the police force, and trouble hiring police force, and her idea is to have a pilot program that is for unarmed response programs for non-violent crises. Unarmed. And I'm asking you what that means.
That means that a unit will go to a call and not have a weapon. Unarmed means no weapon. Now, police officers have been killed for a number of years for a variety of reasons. We know how people are sometimes wacky. You're a uniformed officer or a plainclothes officer. One of the things you have is your weapon to protect you and protect society. To have the idea of going to a call without a weapon, when you don't know what you're going to encounter. There was a burglary that happened in the valley. The burglar killed the husband and wife recently in the San Fernando Valley. You don't know what you're going to encounter. You go to a shoplift call, the person has a gun, is going to shoot and kill you. You don't send police officers anywhere without a weapon. That's a wacky idea to have unarmed police officers. You have parking control. The ones who write parking tickets, they don't carry guns. But you know what? People don't attack them. When police officers are there, they arrest people for committing crimes. It's stupidity to think you'd have a police officer not having a gun. And it goes so far now that you citizens can get a gun on a CCW because the state now knows that it's not a safe place through the entire state of California. It's just another stupid idea by a council member who's out of touch.
Let's hear it for Dennis Zine, everybody. The next member of Los Angeles.